Lewis, it's Rob Dawson from Sky. Hello, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look, it's not. Lewis, it's Rob Dawson from Sky. Hello, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look, it's not new for you. You've been here before. Those 2 caps you won 18 months or so ago, but this is the first time you've been called up under Thomas Tuchel on the verge of a World Cup, the last squad to be selected before he picks a World Cup squad. Does that feel a bit different, and how desperate are you to kind of make an impression on him?
Yeah, I think you could say it feels a little bit different. I think it's, like you said, obviously the last one before the World Cup, so it's definitely a really important one for everyone. Yeah, but for me, coming into this camp, obviously I've been here before, not under this manager, but yeah, I'm really excited and I'm really looking forward to showing what I can do and showing, hopefully, that I'm good enough to be part of the squad and showing him, yeah, the qualities that I believe I have. And yeah, I think if I can do that, the rest will take care of itself.
You've won an awful lot of plaudits this season, in particular for your performances, and a lot of people think you've got a really good chance of getting a seat on that plane. But when you hear that a player of the calibre of Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, isn't in this squad, and you are, all right, he's a fullback on the other side of the field to you, how big a compliment is that, and how much does that boost your confidence?
Yeah, I think there's so many talented players in England, so many talented English players. You look through all the age groups, you can go to the under-21s, and there's so many talented players in that as well. There's so many talented players who haven't been selected. So I think for me, I just look at it as a real privilege that he's chosen me to be selected, and yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Hi, Lewis. Do you think that you're a different player, a better player than you were when you were first called up to the senior squad by Lee Carsley?
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm still young now, and since then has been over a year ago, so I've definitely grown and matured in different ways on and off the pitch. And yeah, I feel like I've got a lot more experience now than I did then. I think I had a fair amount of experience in the Premier League and sort of the national cup competitions and things like that, but I think now I've managed to expand my experience across Europe, playing more Champions League games and games like this, which are obviously high stakes. So yeah, I think I'm definitely a more matured and more version of myself now.
And Thomas Tuchel said that he remembered you as a young boy from Chelsea. What do you remember of him from then, and what have you made of him so far this week?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one, because obviously when I knew him back in my Chelsea days, I was obviously not quite in the first team, but I was training quite regularly with them at a certain point, and yeah, he was the one who gave me my debut. So I was obviously incredibly grateful for that, and that'll be a memory that I'll always have. But yeah, I think I'm a completely different person now, completely different player now, I think. So I don't necessarily read too much into the past, and yeah, I know he's a great guy, so I'm looking forward to working with him again.
Carrie, thanks.
Turn back the clock, this time last year, and you were recovering from a foot operation that kept you even attending the Carabao Cup final. How much did that sting and focus your mind to where you are now?
Yeah, a lot. It was obviously a difficult moment at the time, and there's so much positive thoughts that you want to tell yourself, and you want to tell yourself that everything's going to be okay, and you've got so many aspirations that you want to achieve for when you're back fit, but at the same time it is really hard when you go through day to day of recovery and rehab. But I look through it now, and I think all the hard work and every day that I put all the effort in at the training ground has led me to where I am now, which is back in the squad. So yeah, I'm very proud of myself for that, for sticking through it, and yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunities as well.
Star-studded list of our well-wishers on that day. One of them, Thiago Silva, when you posted from the hospital bed. He taught you a lot in your younger years, didn't he? And Thomas Tuchel mentioning your selection, talking about your leadership and how you bring others into the game and help each other out. How much did you get from Thiago Silva on that?
Your last chance to disappear until summer and come.
Yeah, so much. I think it goes without saying, really, the experience that he's had in the game. He's played a number of games at the highest level, and although he didn't necessarily speak much English, he was so good with me and he always wanted to help me improve. He was obviously playing a lot of games at the time at Chelsea and playing quite regularly for someone of his age, and he was taking time on the training pitch to try and help me out. And yeah, I think at the time him, along with a lot of other players, were always trying to help me improve. And yeah, I think whenever you get to play and train with older players, you can always sort of learn a lot from them. And yeah, I'm really grateful for everything that they've taught me.
Still in touch?
I wouldn't say I'm in touch with him now, no.
Jason.
Hey Lewis, good to speak to you. You talked about growing as a person, as a player over the last couple of years. What has Eddie Howe's role been in that?
Yeah, he's been a massive help for me. I think when I first came to the club, I was obviously incredibly young, very inexperienced. Although I had a few games in the Premier League and stuff under my belt, I think I was definitely far from the player that I am now. Obviously, I've still got a long way to go to where I want to be and where I believe I can be, but I think he's done so much to help me be in the position I am now. He's helped me a lot off the pitch in terms of ways to be around the training ground, how to interact with other lads and things like that. And then on the pitch speaks for itself. I think he's shown me a lot of belief in me, and then I think obviously he's taught me a lot of the defensive side of my game, which I think was the main sort of area that I needed to improve when I first joined. And yeah, he spent a lot of time staying behind after training, working with me. So yeah, I'm always grateful for that, and yeah, he's a top coach.
It's interesting, I mean, you went there a couple of years ago from Chelsea. What were the initial goals that you set yourself, and maybe after a year, 2 years, 3 years? Because as you've said, you've come on a lot over the last couple of years. Was this always in sight for you, potentially?
Yeah, I think it's always an aim for any player. I think I was still young at the time, so I knew I was going to have to put a lot of work in to get there. I think the first season I knew would be about growth and development. If I'm completely honest, I didn't think that I would struggle with game time as much as I did in that first season. But then that's the situation I found myself in, and I think that taught me a lot mentally about myself and how to overcome sort of difficult moments that you can have. But yeah, I think as my time went on, I started to set new goals, and I think being in the national team was definitely a goal at one point last season. And yeah, I was very grateful that I was able to do that. And yeah, I created that goal at the start of this season to get back in the national team as well. And here I am now, so I'm proud of myself, and I'm grateful for everyone that's helped me throughout my journey so far.
So just to follow up just briefly on that, it's interesting you talk about the adversity you've gone through, the injuries that you've had, maybe not playing as well in your first season, but you're still able to overcome that. How mentally strong are you then?
I think it's interesting, really, because I think at first I wouldn't say I was necessarily the most mentally strong person that you'd meet, but I've had a lot of support with the coaching staff, players, my family, and I think as time's gone on, I've gone through a lot in terms of not playing, the injury that I had that made me miss the final, things like that. And yeah, I think as time's gone on, I've got a lot stronger, and I'd say mentally now I'm in a pretty strong place, and I want to just continue to build on that.
Lewis, in the last few months, you played against Lamine Yamal, Semenyo, Brian Mbeumo, who I think got booked for kicking you, and Mo Salah as well. Does anything faze you? And I mean, obviously, Lamine Yamal's second half was quite challenging. But do you find yourself developing from experiences like that? Thank you.
Yeah, I've always said, I think if you want to be the best version of yourself and the best player you can be, you've got to test yourself against the best players. And yeah, like you said then, I went through a short time frame where I had a lot of games playing against the top players in the world. And yeah, I think that was, you can look at it in different ways. It's obviously a difficult challenge, but at the same time, I wanted that challenge, and I wanted to test myself against them. And yeah, I feel like in some games I managed to do that really well, and I think that's made me a better player for it. And I think there's other games where maybe I haven't dealt as well with my opponent, but it's been a learning curve for me, and then that's helped me in other games that I then came on after that. So yeah, it's definitely something that I like to do, is playing against the best players.
Well, this is a bit of a strange camp, because we were surprised when the manager named 35 players on Friday. That took some explaining to us. Did he have to explain that to you? And also, some of the players that are in the first part of the camp are going to be sent home, we expect, at the weekend. So how big a goal for you is to make sure you're still here by the second game?
Yeah, I think, like he said, it was no secret that there's obviously more players being called up to this camp. And yeah, he's explained to us that there's no need to read anything into it. It's purely based off making sure that players who they haven't necessarily seen much of get the opportunity in front of them, and then players who have played a lot with them and had the opportunities can get a bit of rest away from their clubs, because they've been playing a lot of minutes and stuff. So yeah, I think it's, for me now, I'm just looking at it as a great opportunity to train well, to try and impress, and to try and show them what I'm about, and I think that's all I'm focusing on at the minute.
There's a big theory with this World Cup. The team that wins it is the one that knows how to stop Lamine Yamal. How do you do it? Because you did brilliantly.
Yeah, I think the two games are definitely different. The first game was obviously a game that I was very pleased with myself and the way that I performed. And then I'd say the same in the second leg. For the first half, I was reasonably happy with that as well. But these are the things with these players, the best players in the world. Sometimes they can't necessarily be at their level for the full 90 minutes, but they show that even when they're not at their best, they show that their qualities throughout the game in moments. And I think he's definitely someone who can, sometimes when the team's not doing well or the game's not going as they want to, he can sort of take the game by himself and change the scoreline just by himself. So yeah, he's definitely a special player, and yeah, I think I agree with that.
Many believe you should be at that stage at the World Cup. Thomas Tuchel certainly knows your quality. How's he changed as a coach, from a coach when you were a young developing player to one now that he sees as a senior figure in the squad?
No, I think he's obviously a great coach, worked with so many players. And yeah, I think he's the same person from when I was a kid. I'm obviously a lot different now. And yeah, there's so many players in this squad, so a lot of people have different experiences than others, and there's so many players who have got so much experience playing in the top tournaments for England. So yeah, for me personally, I just want to look to do my best here and learn from these players and from this coach, and yeah, hopefully that will put me in a good position.
But as you'll be well aware, it is this squad, of all squads, the last one before the World Cup squad is named. And what did you think when Thomas Tuchel said to the players, this is your last opportunity to compete for a ticket, as he called it?
Yeah, I think there's two ways you can look at it. Obviously, it could be quite nerve-wracking, knowing that this is the last opportunity to maybe impress, where you're training every day, you're being in and around the place, and you're getting to know everyone. But at the same time, I think you play so many games in the season. I think they all know the way that you like to play, and I think this is just another chance for you to show what not only you can do on the pitch, but what you're like off the pitch. And I think if you can spread positivity across the group, and I think he's always been keen on making sure that everyone in the group has their part to play off the pitch, because I think that's important as well as it is on the pitch. So yeah, I'm just looking to be as happy as possible, enjoying my football here, and yeah, hopefully that will put me in a good position.
Si quieres probar suerte con la creación de sitios